After 3 weekends of hunting, Aaron and Levi still haven't gotten a moose. Aaron took extra time off of teaching this week in hopes of filling his freezer. The pressure to get a bull moose is immense, as moose meat makes up a large part of the Marks family diet. With only 1 week remaining this hunting season, Aaron and Levi are making one final push to secure a moose. Join Aaron and his son Levi as they close out another season hunting the Cosna.
I've taken some extra days off this week from teaching to make a nice hard push towards the end of moose season here to see if we can get one.
I got really sick before I came to a moose camp a couple days before. You can probably still hear it in my voice, but I had to just stay at camp and get better before I could check any meadows.
So we got in, first place I wanted to check was Portage, because last year there was a bunch of cows this late in the season. However, we got there and there was somebody parked there. We cruised to Williams Slough, and there's a little meadow there, and went ahead and checked on that. No real sign in there. Then we went ahead and cruised back up towards camp and checked Levi's meadow, did some calling.
We went to Goliath, checked it out, went to a short canoe ride, and
it was flipped over, so it was all the way full of water and struggled, but we got all that water. I don't remember leaving it like that, but you never know.
after a long day of checking meadows, we went to Troll Meadows so I could at least hear something.
I did hear some really faint grunts.
Uncle's grunting at the moose for a very long time until it finally came in.
I told my cousin Peyton if he hears a grunt or a bull, go stand by my dad so he can help him get the moose.
So in the middle of the moose coming in, I started hearing a weird sound and realized it was my dog Winnie back at camp. Even though we're quite a ways away, she was barking loud enough that we could hear her barks. Went and got Peyton's gun ready, put it on safety, and got him kind of set up. And then I made sure I kept telling him that he needed to have 100% shot before, like a good view, before he pulled the trigger. I know that late at night, if he didn't have a good shot, then it would be hard to get another follow-up shot. Because the muzzle blast will kind of blind you, and it was getting to the point where it's pretty dark by the time I finally popped out. Well, there's always that big part of me that worries that I was our one chance at a bull. You know, a lot of years we get one chance, and I'm hoping that's not the one. This morning we got up really early and went back to the same meadow and did some calling, just hoping that we might be able to get another chance at him. But from years past, I know that doesn't always happen, and it didn't this time.
so we cruised to Goliath Meadow. It seems pretty moosey, but nothing came out.
After that, we went and cruised up to Lena's Meadow. It's getting a little later in the day, but there was a lot of new signs since a few days ago, last weekend. Oh. We didn't really hear any calling or answering our calls, and it started raining also. Levi's finally feeling a little bit better today. Still has a cough, but his mood's a lot better. So we wanted to go take him out, so we decided to cruise downriver to see if we could check out a few meadows. Right near my buddy Tom Heislip's camp, a little bit past there was a lot of sign, and we heard one grunt. We called around and kind of looked around in the area that came from, but it's really the wrong time of day and it just was quiet.
We noticed that when we got done checking the meadows that we saw that people were just leaving their spare boat at Portage, I guess.
Our plan tonight is to cruise up to Lena's Meadow and do some calling around there, but my overall goal probably would be to find something that's maybe a little better in that same area though, because there's definite sign there. So we're down to the last few days. So every morning and night hunts are increasing in their importance and our stress level, I guess, where anxiety is starting to pick up here, of maybe not getting on something.
We didn't hear anything at all at Lena's Meadow because Levi kept throwing up and coughing.
So this morning we got up early and cruised up to the Cosna Meadow. We definitely heard a couple different bulls, some lighter grunts off to the left. Probably the same one that we had been chasing earlier, and then off to our right we had two much deeper grunts, but neither of them decided to come in. Everything just died down again. So now we're about to go to Fish Lake. Just figured it's a better chance with both my boys being sick and coughing a lot. It's hard for them to sit quietly. And at Fish Lake, you have a better chance of just cruising right up onto a moose.
It was pretty cool driving to Fish Lake. My dad had to dodge a lot of stuff while he was driving us up there though, so might have put a few dents in the boat, but it is what it is.
So we got up into Fish Lake, drove around. We didn't see anything. Can't really tell for sign. It's really wet up there. Starting to feel like it was maybe just dead there too. But then right before dark, we pulled up on a cow and a calf right on the edge of the water.
Yeah, that's a calf. Little pup below it. There's three.
Yeah, there's three of them down.
I think that might be a bull on the right. Looks pretty small. I can't tell.
Although it had a calf, every cow now is worth investigating, just because a lot of them have bulls attached to them. Our bulls are interested in them, so we went ahead and started calling up that cow.
The bull's behind them, I see it.
heard it hit. The moose took a few steps and stopped. And he got ready for a second shot, and I said, hold on. And I could have easily taken a shot as well, but I thought it sounded like a good hit, but unfortunately it started walking away, and it was a little bit too dark, so we went back to the boat and got flashlights and went back and started finding little blood drops here and there and followed tracks and kept losing the trail and then re-finding it. And yeah, we don't like to see an animal suffer, and we're hoping to catch up with it. Didn't have luck that night. This morning we woke up early and decided to cruise around a little bit more, searching for a bull for Peyton. And we saw several cows that we got to call in a little bit. Then we cruised over to where Levi had shot the bull the night before, just to give it another thorough walk through to, because we don't want to waste anything, and also if it's suffering, we want to make sure that we find it. But we didn't have any luck. In the daylight, we did find a little bit more further back, little blood splatters and tracks, but nothing major, and then we kind of lost the trail.
My uncle called to see if there was any bulls with the cows, but we didn't hear anything or see anything.
Just thinking about missed opportunities. This trip has had a couple of them. I don't know, that might be it, but we'll see. We still have a little bit more hunting to do.
Tonight we're gonna go up the Cosna and go back to Troll, but before that we're gonna cruise everywhere. We're running out of time. It's the last full day of hunting, and so far we haven't got a bull, even though we shot at one.
So this is our last full day of hunting, so we have a few meadows that we're going to check. We'll probably end up back at the Cosna, where we've heard bulls and actually saw one for the evening hunt. Still have a lot of hope for this final push, but it is getting down to the last couple hunts. For the first over an hour, probably, it was just dead silent. Could even hear my dog barking from camp. But then things quieted down, and all of a sudden there was a cow started moaning in the distance, and a bull started grunting with it. Sounded kind of like they might be coming in, but then it just kind of went silent, as it sometimes does. So we got in the boat, kind of cruised a little bit, and did some calling. Heard one more little cow call, so we cruised to where we thought it was, and then at that point it was dark, and we stopped calling altogether. Started almost reminiscing a little bit about the last 21 years in a row of getting moose around here, and thinking that it was coming to an end, and I was going to really have to search for other sources of food.
We went in the general area of where a cow and a bull were calling last night. My dad did a couple calls. And instantly heard a cow and a bull, but it instantly went silent on him. So we drove around and tried to find out where it was.
So I cruised up to Troll Meadow, up a little further up, just hoping that maybe I'd hear something else, but got there, and sure enough, the moose had come and walked right over our path and what we were calling the night before. But it was dead silent, no response, so that pretty much ended the hunt. So on our way out, just a couple bins before camp, I noticed a set of tracks on the beach that were still kind of had the wet moisture, and it had frosted, so I knew that they were new.
Are you just laying down in the middle?
At the very edge of the tree line. Like, I stood up and I was like, yeah. I couldn't tell if it was a bull or a cow. I didn't see its head. And once I saw its head, my gun was on safety and I didn't get a shot before it started running.
So I ended up dropping the moose in about a foot of water, foot or so of water. But thankfully, my buddy Derek gave a come along to me for this trip actually, which worked really well. And the other thing was that I got a tip from somebody that next time I come along a moose that I should tie up on the back of it, not the front like I did before, which made it slide along way easier.
One of the best ways to respect the dead animal is to use as much of it as possible. So even if we don't like certain pieces of meat, like I don't like the liver, but we still take them and we give it away to people who do like it, like my grandpa. It was a great moose hunting season, even though I unfortunately wounded a bull. I'm glad we have meat in the freezer and get to go home and eat some moose meat. My favorite moose meat meal is definitely soft tacos or moose soup.
Anytime you're spending time in the woods, you know, camping with friends and family, it's a good time. Saw a lot of moose, got to explore some kind of new area. So this is always the bittersweet time where you have to break camp, but being successful, it's sweet, but it's also going to be another whole year before I get back out here and enjoy camping with my family and friends. So